Happy Halloween, Taurus. Welcome to your October 2021 astrological forecast. So, before planets move in at the end of the month, more or less, into Scorpio, your opposite sign, they are in Libra right now. Okay, the sun is in Libra up until the 22nd. Okay, Mercury's in Libra all month. Actually, has been here since last month, went retrograde on September 27th and turns direct on the 18th of October, okay? And Mars is in Libra up until the 29th. Then on the 30th, it does move into Scorpio. So there's a new moon, too, on the 6th in Libra. Where you have Libra in your chart is your 6th house, okay? Of the workplace, your co-workers, the kind of work that you do, your work schedule, the very building that you work in, the workplace, okay? So it's also your house of health and your house of service to others, okay? But I'd have to say it's work-related right now because you don't really have all the planets right now are in the upper part of your chart, okay? From like the 7th through the 12th, you have the planet Uranus still in your first house, and then you just have these planets in your 6th house. So I would have to say this is work-related. Nothing really going on in your inner life. Everything that's happening in your chart is happening out in the world. Okay. So having Mars here does make you a little bit more aggressive in getting your own way or wanting things done a certain way, or even changing your schedule or something like that at work. If you're self-employed, you could be doing that very thing, changing things and having clients just having to adhere to a new schedule of some kind based on what you're doing. You know, if you are self-employed, you have the right to do that, right? That's what's nice about being self-employed. And if you don't work at all, or if you're retired, this it's the house of service, okay? But I would have to say this is more or less work-related because, again, there really isn't anything going on in your personal life, pretty much. Everything's happening in the outside world, your interaction with the outside world. So the new moon here on the 6th could bring a new beginning in some way or other. That's what new moons do. But in the workplace, there could be a new way of doing everything. It could be due to the pandemic, it could be something like that. Maybe you are not working in the actual building, maybe you're still working remotely, or you are in the building and changes are being made there again, It's like an ever-changing thing, because you're not really sure, the more we learn about the virus and everything, the more we know what to do. So it could be something on those lines where things are changing, but, Mars here, like I said, does make you a little bit more aggressive in wanting things done your way. Okay, so this new moon, you could propose something, let's say to your co-workers or to a higher up or something like that. And having Mercury here, maybe this was something, a schedule. I would have to say your schedule changed when Mercury first entered here in Libra last month. Now that it turned retrograde at the end of September, everybody's having problems or it's not working out. That's usually what happens when you change some kind of schedule, okay? With Mercury. So by the time, even like with your clients or the work itself, something's just not meshing, it's not working correctly. So when Mercury turns direct on the 18th, it may take that long for them to realize that some new change or a new policy even that was put in place isn't working. And they'll have to put it back the way it was, but a lot of companies aren't willing to do something like that. So we'll see what happens, but normally that's the norm for this kind of thing. 6th house is also the house of health, though, so you're really probably more interested in it now than you have been in a long time. And I would have to say that's a Mars thing also here. If you don't normally work out or eat right, you know, this is a time when you would take something like that up. Mars is a physically energetic planet, and it does give you physical energy that you need to get rid of, you know. So a lot of times people don't seem to realize that that's why they feel like running or riding a bike, or I'll walk here instead of driving. You know, it's to release that built up energy. So you could actually take up like lifting weights or something like that right now, some kind of exercise program. But this is you know, all there is here. You know, I'd have to say the Mercury here is the big deal. Conversations or instructions of any kind that you and your coworkers have received on the job, that's all changing now too. And in fact, you guys could find out you were told the wrong thing, the wrong way to do something. You know, it's a lot of mistakes come out at this time. Like when Mercury's direct, everybody's doing this. Then it turns retrograde, and a lot of times that's when the mistakes come out, not during. You know, when you're reviewing and looking over things. A lot of times, though, too, you're short on information. You don't have everything you need to know in order to complete something. Okay, so that could be another thing that's happening right now. That, like last month, okay, there were 5 major, the outer planets. Okay, Jupiter through Pluto were retrograde. Excuse me. 3 of them are turning direct this month, and one of them, excuse me, is Pluto in Capricorn, where you have Pluto in your chart as your 9th house. It turns direct on the 6th. Okay, Jupiter in Aquarius turns direct on the 18th, and Saturn in Aquarius turns direct on the 10th. Okay, where you have Aquarius in your chart is your 10th house of your career. Okay, 9th house is like the house of knowledge and many, many other things. So maybe at work, you, or even if you're self-employed, okay, you weren't able to get the information you needed in order to complete something, or something has changed. If you're self-employed, a client wants something done differently, and you think that you're doing it the way they wanted it done, and then you could find out that that's not what it was at all after you've already come close to completing the job. Okay, something like that. But when these outer planets in your 9th and 10th house turn direct, it will take a while to kick in, and I believe that it's something that you can take care of on your own. You know, no matter where you work, if you work for other people, if you work for yourself, or even if you don't work at all, there's something you're doing. 6th house is also like your everyday life schedule. It's almost like your 3rd house in a way. But you aren't able to complete something for lack of knowledge. Okay, so when all these planets turn direct and they're all moving, I'd have to say like at the end of the month, you might actually be able to complete whatever it was. As far as your career goes, though, there could have been a promise of a promotion, or you did already have a promotion and a promise of a raise, or a promise of something or other that came along with a promotion. What would normally come along with that is money, you know, more money or something or other. Okay, well, I believe that, you know, that this will all kick in. It will all, you know, your career may seem to have stalled, or any kind of forward movement in it. So towards the end of the month, I'd give it that long. Excuse me, you should be making progress again. Okay, and as far as the 9th house goes, with Pluto being here, knowledge or anything that you may possibly need, okay, in regards to the work, kind of work that you do, or even communications regarding it, should be like forthcoming. Okay, now the sun moves into Scorpio. Okay, your opposite sign on the 23rd. Mars moves into Scorpio on the 30th. where you have Scorpio in your chart is your 7th house of close relationships. Okay, partnerships, business and or romantic or a close friend. This is also the house of competitors and open enemies. As far as business goes, even could be personal though too. Could be a rival as far as romance goes. If you are in some kind of relationship with someone. This is also the house of consultants, like lawyers or doctors even. Agreements, arrangements, contracts too. You know, legal documents even possibly. So it's a good time to pay a lot of attention to anything that's even going on while planets are in Libra, because they're still in the workplace, because this could be still like work related. Okay, now Venus is in Scorpio up until like the 6th, so it's been here since last month, and you should have had like a really good rapport with any of these people as far as a partnership goes, a business partner, romantic partner, a friend, something like that. It should have been like pretty pleasant times, pleasant conversations with these people. Now Venus moves into Sagittarius on the 7th and is here like all month, where you have Sagittarius in your chart as your 8th house of other people's resources and money. Money coming to you through means other than earning it. However, it is a place of perks of some kind due to your job. I would have to say something like that could be on the table right now, as far as, let's say, negotiating a little bit, as far as any kind of promotion or ground that you've gained at work, like a new position of some kind, or it could be more money, but money's not in the picture right now. But you could be given, it's like better benefits or something, health insurance, something added on to that as a perk or a way of like paying you, even though it's not financial. But you could still actually be on the receiving end of, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be work related. You could be on the receiving end of anything with Pluto being direct again in your 9th house, where you have Capricorn. 9th house is also legal matters. So maybe a legal matter was stalled. It wasn't moving forward. No activity, nothing happening there. Well, now that it's moving forward and Venus is in your 8th house of money coming from legal settlements or insurance payouts, legacies, inheritances, any kind of financial institution like a bank or even the IRS, anybody that may owe you money, okay? Credit card companies, it could even be money from, let's say, like a class action suit that you could be part of, maybe not even be aware of it, you know? So, yeah, money, if you needed to borrow some at this time, this would be a good time when Venus is here from the 7th on. Okay, and as far as resources go, people are also resources. This just doesn't have to be monetary or equipment or something that someone owns that they lend to you or they give to you. This could be actually asking someone for their cooperation or help in some way or other. So that's like the best time to ask for help. Even if it is like from a financial institution or something like that. As far as a bank goes, when Venus is here, they're more than likely, they're more willing to help you get whatever it is you need, a loan or increase in credit or different terms. Credit card companies too, you know, if you ask them to change, you know, something or other, a lot of times they do it when Venus is here. Okay? So, anyways, okay, back to, there's the new moon in Libra in your 6th house, where there's also a full moon in Aries on the 20th. Okay, where you have Aries in your chart is your 12th house of behind the scenes occurrences, actions taken by you or someone else in secret. It's the house of confidences, you know, it's a big secret house, okay? It is a house of confinement, like hospitals and prisons, nursing homes, things like that. It's also a house of charity, though, and helping someone behind the scenes, and not really letting anyone know that you're doing something, you know, good for someone else, or even good for like an organization. But this full moon happening in the House of Secrets, I'd have to say that that is when you something is exposed at this time. Either you find out about something someone has been keeping from you, again, a secret. And because it's directly across from your 6th house of the workplace, I'd have to say that that's where it's going on. There's something going on at work. You know, it could be with a coworker, a boss, the company. Maybe there's something going on with the company you don't know about. You know, some new direction they're going in the future, or, you know, what's somewhere down the line, how things are going to change, you know. So you could accidentally come into this knowledge because, again, it's a secret, or you find out about it in a roundabout way, but I don't think it was something you were supposed to know. Okay, so the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Taurus on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign. Your opposite sign is Scorpio, and those dates are the 7th, 8th, and 9th. The best time for romance, creativity, fun, gambling, or speculation, or anything to do with children is the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 16th, 17th, 30th, and 31st. The best time for money is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. The best time for career is the 13th, 14th, 15th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 11th, 12th, 23rd, 25th, 26th. 11th, 12th, 13th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. Okay, and I have to mention that really this will only affect those of you born at like the end of April, the first like 2 days or whatever of Taurus. Mars moving into Scorpio on the 30th will be directly across from your sun or your rising sign, or anything that you have in like 0 or 1 or 2 degrees of Taurus, okay? And Mars in the 7th house, it being also the house of competition and competitors and open enemies, does mean that these people seem to kind of like come out of the woodwork at this time to push your buttons and try to get you to act up and make you look like a fool or something, you know, fly off the handle or pick a fight with you or whatever. You know, people are more aggressive towards you at this time, especially close relationships, partnerships, like romantic and or business. A business partner could want to do things in business their way and not yours, and they might want to run roughshod over you and just do the business, run the business the way they want it done. Romance, you could have a very pushy partner that either wants you to commit to something or other, or you know, do something different within the relationship. But everybody's aggressive towards you right now into November, okay? But I really wasn't going into it too much because it moves into Scorpio just like on the 30th, you know, so it's not really going to affect too many people just yet, but it will affect those born the first like 2 days of Taurus. Okay, so thank you everyone for subscribing to my channel and donating and helping to keep my channel growing. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, take the time to do that now, please, and check on the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload something. Also, check out Ask Me a Question. There's a, in the description box below, there's a link there. There's also a link to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done, because this is just a general reading. So if you wanted something more specific, you would have to have your chart done, okay? And check out my weekly forecast, okay? So I will see you next week. Goodbye.